Boom, boom. This is Ken Riverby. Welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a little bit of Soul Land Reloaded up today. So we've got a new event up, the Asura Divine Sword event. Now, you should be able to actually get this item at this point. This should be, I was only 10 short of getting it, and I got, they gave you actually 15 in here. So I was able to actually go ahead and summon that up. Got a huge boost when I did. I was at 1597, and when I summoned that up, it jumped all the way up to 1627, and then I put some amplification on it. It got me up to 1629. So this is going to be a pretty good weapon right here. So I'm not going to use this amplification. I'm going to use this on the actual godly form Asura. So I'm just waiting for the 5 to actually. Because I'm using the godly form of Asura on my tank, so I wanted to keep that. But this is exceedingly powerful weapon right here. So this is going to be something that's going to be really good in terms of what it's capable of doing. Because if you take a look at that, it's every 12 seconds it reduces all enemies' attack speed by 25% and increases allies' attack speed by 12.5% in PvE battles. So it's a PvE weapon tool. I'm not. So apparently, it's not going to function in PvP. So that limits its use. Obviously, I mean, if this happened in PvP, it'd be it'd be definitely the best tool out there. But that, and then with killing art, with every 2 ultimate skills casted by allies on Divine side will release 3 bouts of killing aura, dealing heavy damage to a random enemy. It can only be triggered once every 8 seconds. So it's going to proc a couple of times, of course. There's no doubt about that. 8 seconds, because you usually bouts usually, they usually go, they're not going to go much more than 15 seconds. 10 to 15 seconds is the average. So you're going to get 1 proc, maybe 2 out of it. Increases attack power of main soul masters by 9,750 points. Okay. So note, at the deployment stage on the field, skill will affect the whole team for deployed divine tools. Protection skill will take effect for undeployed divine tools. So that's pretty nice as well too. So it's a pretty good weapon in terms of, especially for PvE, of course, which is really, something that's useful. But the problem is PvE is not really challenging in this game. I mean, I sweep through. I just did, 97. I just did, the story mode for that a couple of days ago. When I hit 97, I swept them. I don't even, just my BP's far exceeds what's needed, so it just sweeps right through. So really not going to help much, of course, in story mode. It's not something that's going to be needed. But it's going to help you in the boss fights when you have. They don't consider. Any type of PvP is PvP, player versus player. Okay, the treant, that's not PvP. Okay, that's considered a PvE because you're fighting. You're not fighting another player. You're fighting the actual the game as it is in the story mode. You're fighting the team that they make up. So it's going to help you in the treant and your soul beast invasions. It's going to help. It's going to help inside of the sect as well for the tyrant. So any of those skills, you're actually going to see an increase. But anything in PvE, like Hell Slaughter, it's not going to help you there because that is PvP. You're going up against other players. So yeah. So but it's other than that, it's going to help. So anytime you're not fighting another player, you'll get the buff from that. So just remember that you might want to switch that out. On your PvP team, you might want to have a little different outlay than you do on your PvE, which is in medical. So that's definitely something to consider. But for PvE, it's going to be a really great tool. Definitely something I'm going to build up. And as you can see, 20. So I was at 1597. So that was like, I got pretty much about a 30 million BP jump just from summoning it. The 2 extra, I got 2 more million after I put some amplification on it. I have a huge amount of amplification crystals. The actual the pink ones. The red ones are the ones that you take through for the breakthrough. That's what I'm waiting on right now. They're really difficult to get your hands on. They only have them inside of select locations. I think. Let's see if we can find them here. You can get some inside of right here. St. Pillar Shop is the only place that I know that you can actually get them. So I purchase them every week, of course. And yeah, I usually purchase these every week as well too. So yeah, so I'm just waiting for them to clear. I need 5 more to actually take my Godly Asura up. And I'm going to, of course, amplify that because that is being used in my tank. It's an exceedingly good divine tool. But I will be working, I'll be working a divine sword into, the Asura Godly is an HP. This is, the divine sword is an actual destruction. So it's an attack one. So you're allowed to have 2 HP to 2 destruction. So of each types on your team. So it's definitely something to consider. How quick I can move it in, because I've got the Sea God's Trident, okay, and then the second is the Atlas Divine Spear. So this is what it needs to be. So what I'll basically do is I'll check the stats on this, okay. I really have not been focusing much on these S's simply because of the fact that I knew I was going to be replacing them with the SS Pluses when they came out. So I've been focusing on the SS's. Okay, you can only have 4, so there's no use. I mean, there is some inside of the actual Shrek Academy when you're doing that build sometimes, and inside of the certain functions, when you have 2 teams, you can have two full sets for 2 teams. But we got to be a little bit divine tools don't come around very often, so getting the actual requirements for these is just I don't think it's really worth it. So I'll just be focusing. Now we do have 2 SS plus sets, so I might end up just regenerating possibly to get the actual soul bats, but you can't really use them. However, if you do look, this is one of the cases where you can't use any of the S shards to actually perform any type of an upgrade, and there's no the amplification uses this stone. While on the actual spirit souls and stuff, that you can actually use the shards to actually increase the power for them. For instance, on the soul right here, so if you go look at the spirit souls, okay, you can actually increase these. It's called transferring. You can actually transfer, and this uses S shards. Okay, so the S shards for them can be inherited into your SS pluses. That's not an option. I wish it was. If I could apply the shards, I'd have a lot of S shards that I could apply into them, but it's not something that's at this particular time. It's not something. Enhancement is done via the actual divine lights, which you can get. You can get these fairly easy. They're in the shop. And then the rest is done through this breakthrough, through what's called amplification. So there is no way to use S shards. So there's no real use to regenerate them. I would get back some of the stuff, but the shards are useless to me at this point. I can't use them for anything else. So I might as well just keep them. I'll keep them as they are for now, just because of the BP boost it gives me. But I'll be spending pretty much all of my focus and mats and amplification on the SS pluses. Okay, I could already amplify all 3 of these, but I don't. I want to amplify this, and like I said, I need 5 more to do that because I am utilizing this as my primary because it has an excellent set. For every 24 seconds, all allied soul masters are granted protection for 12 seconds. During this duration, 30% of allies taking damage will be gradually deducted as bleeding over 8 seconds. After the protection has ended, bleeding damage will be reduced by 20%. Okay. During the channeling of Asura protection, for every 10 seconds of the teams, every 10% of the teams taking this damage, murderous intent will be released, dealing damage to all enemy souls. Masters up to 3 times, 0.5 CD of auto-released in PvE. Whenever each allied soul master receives debuffs that will reduce their energy by at least 50 points. 30% will be negated. This effect can only be triggered once every 10 seconds. Asura murders for 10 and increased dual death by this right here. Okay. At the deployment stage, on the field skill will affect the whole team for deployed Divine Tools protection skill. Okay, so you get this immediately. And you're seeing the same type of buff on this. So this is what gives them a little bit of an advantage over the previous Divine Tools in terms of usefulness. So, you know, at that point, you know, I like them. I think they're usable. But remember that in certain, in certain stages where it's a PvP, will be useful. And that's that's not a lot, because if you take a look at the PvP, let's go into the arena. Okay. And if you look, you will see that there is no option for to change what you've got. You've got 2-2. Okay, so you can't have any more than that. Okay, combined with the fact that, so these right here, you're going to have to go in and change this if you want to utilize, because it's only a PvE related thing. The same with this. Okay, but this gives me the protection, so I'm going to use it. But that PvP is only related in this. That the attack is completely PvE. The main proc of the skill will not be useful inside of PvC every 12 seconds in PvE battles. Okay, so you're not going to get this inside of a PvP battle. So I really would not consider that. Definitely something that you want to take off. While here we get this inside of PvP. Okay, there's no section saying that it's only for PvP. It auto releases in PvE, but this is fully useful inside of PvP. There's nothing restricting it from PvP. Okay, so it's definitely something that you want to use. But this, the other one, nothing. One of that really good part of the proc is not going to be useful. So you might want to have a different kit when you're running PvP with that. But the Stirred Divine Sword, that's really good weapon. A ton of BP out of that. So everything else, that's the only new event up. We still got the Quixie Festival, so keep participating in that. It's for another 3 days. Got no time limited events at this time. Okay, so just make sure you get those gift bags. So nothing up there. Active Wheel, of course, is up as always. You want to participate, just make sure you finish it every single day. Time limited buy is still up. I hope everybody is purchasing this. I am really close. I will actually be able. You can purchase 2 of these, so I will actually be able tomorrow. I will be able to take my Eye of Terror up another upgrade. So definitely something that's really nice in terms of that. Anime-related events. We're working through it. I'm getting there. Up to this point right here. So I just got a chance to 60 shards, so that will be able to take up a divine tool or 2, so that's a hidden weapon or 2, so that's nice. And then of course we'll get the S ranked, which nobody's using, but hey, it's the thought that counts. So it's a good event. I participated in it. It's fun. It's just retelling of the story. It's basically the anime. If you watch the anime, then none of the cutscenes that you see inside that event are going to be new. Because they happen inside of the anime. It looks like they got the clips directly from the anime. So you can tell that it's pulled directly from the anime with the actual translation, which is a little wonky in terms of that. But that's the only bad thing really about the anime, is that the translation on some of the things doesn't come across, but primarily because they're getting Chinese speakers to translating it into English instead of getting English speakers to translate it from Chinese. They need taking the extra step, and that always helps out. It makes the translation much better. But yeah, if you watch the anime, you will notice that there are every now and then there are things that just don't make sense. You can understand it, but it's just not the great. It's not verbally proper would be the word I'm looking for. You can tell, the way it's said does not seem. You can tell it's not a fluid English speaker. You can tell that. Um, well, a lot of the games, actually make a point of, getting an English, a primary English speaker who's fluent in the language to actually do the translation, or they translate it. I know what some of them do is they translate it, give a transcript of the translation, and then they actually have someone who's fluent in English do modifications on the transcript so that you can get that you get the proper wording. And that's what they use inside of the games. I know several gaming companies do that as well, and that makes it a little bit more. But it's Japanese and Chinese are difficult to translate into. They don't translate properly into English very well. It takes a little bit of a sort of naturality within that language to actually make the translation a little bit more effective. But it works. You can still understand it. So that's all that matters in the long run. So that's all that's up. Yeah. Everything else is standard. Wrongs T. To get to Battle Pass, make sure you do your heavy do daily. And do keep an eye on the Quixie Festival. Make sure that you do the Resource Exchange before that event shop closes. The Resource Exchange will be open. And there's some really good stuff in here. I haven't used any of it yet. I'm making a determination as to what I will need at the end. But there are some really good stuff in here. Probably going to do tickets. Okay, I'm working on building up the tickets. I think I've got just enough Deep Sea to actually do a awakening. I can always recover from some of the support characters that I have. I can always pull some awakening shards off of them if I need to make up. So I have enough awakening shards to actually do the actual full. I just need to get 16.5 of the tickets and then make a determination as to which character I want it on. As it stands right now, I plan to do it on Sea God Tank Sand SS Plus that's coming out. I'm not going to go ahead and wait. I will recover awakening shards if I need to for the triple S's. But it's going to be quite some time before. I assume that the items enhancements for the SSSs are going to be far exceeding the SS pluses, and it's just going to be a lot longer to build them. So where if you're really focused, you can almost max build the next character in the line. Like I'm going to be really close to the point where I can fully max out Sea God Tank Sand once he comes out. I'll be finishing up the mats probably within the next day or two. I'll have all the mats, and then it's just going to be a matter of gathering up the actual S shards. And as you can see, I'm making headway within that as well. Still got a long way to go, but I've got about 5,000, actually 4,000 shards inside of the actual upgrade kit that are being held inside of there. So I've got about 5,300, so I'm roughly halfway where I need to be. So by the time I should be really close or at where I need to have, because you need you want to get just shy of 11,000. I did a video a while back, and it shows you exactly how many shards you're going to need to bring up an SS Plus character to 5 Sun, and it's a little over 10,000. So I want to make sure that I have this, So I've got like 4,500 inside of the upgrade. And then I've got these chests I could use. So I'm about halfway there. So I should have it by the time it's needed. And then we'll have to go from there and make the determination. But yeah, it looks like I'm going to do Sea God Tech Sand. Everybody's saying that supremely overpowered. He did have a really good skill kit. When we read it out, it sounded really good. So like 12,000%. I mean, that's just a ridiculous amount. Which he is the protagonist, and he is the star of the show, and it's all about him, so he should be powerful. I would have preferred that they actually had him off to make him the first Triple S character, but I guess they wanted to do it a little bit different. I assume we'll have a Triple S for him eventually. But yeah, so yeah, everybody who's been playing him on the Chinese server, those who spent the money, are saying that he's pretty OP. So he's definitely one that we want to bring up. So I'll probably just go ahead and fully divine him. That's why, right now my main focus is just I'm focusing on Clear Sky, and I'm focusing on Red. These two will be staying around for some time. Okay, once they're maxed fully, then I'll start working on Wrong Wrong. She'll be around for some time as well too. These Rakasha and Bo will not be. I assume Seaguy Tank will most likely be replacing her. So that's why I've decided to go ahead and not spend a lot on the actual awakening, fully awakened, because I've still got, as you can see, I've still got several slots. I just decided to go ahead and hold off. And you know, once I heard that Seaguy Tank was that OP, I decided it would be best to just wait for him. And he is our next character, so it's not, you know, it's not something that we have to wait an exceedingly long time for. He should be here in approximately 4 weeks. Sometime end of next week, we should be getting the second event for him, the Seaguy Tank Sound event, and we'll get another 20 shards. That'll bring us to 110. And then, as always, 2 weeks after that, we will have the release of SS plus Woo. And inside of there will be a Soulmaster sale with the chest with another 20, and you'll be able to make Seaguy Tank Sand at that time. You could always, during the event that's coming up next week, you'll be able to purchase the shards if you want to, but I don't see you to waste money at that time, since you can just wait 2 more weeks and then you'll be able to get him. So, yeah, it is what it is. But we're doing this from a free-to-play perspective. We haven't spent anything on the game as of yet, so that's where we're at. But yeah, so several good events up. To keep us in touch over the weekend. This will be ending in 3 days. This will be ending in 3 days as well. So we should have a pretty big event here on the 4th day, as a couple of the events will be coming to a close. So they'll have to pop up some new stuff. So we'll probably see another type of time-limited event, hopefully an awakening or something. Then they'll have another event in place of it. Probably for another... I'm hoping that they'll actually do a... another event for the actual spirit souls here, because I would like to get something for my dragon. Start working him in because he is SS plus. So, but yeah, I do got him up once, but I haven't been able to upgrade him once, but I haven't seen much in terms of that. But I'm hoping they'll have something where we can get our hands on him and start working him up. All right, so that's all I got. So remember to like and share the video, as always. And of course, remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe, click on the bell to get notified each time I drop a video. Ken Rick coming at you from the corner, signing out.